Welcome on board Onward, a 2002 Feeling 39. This beautiful yet highly functional monohull sailboat comes packed with many well-balanced features, more than enough to make this sailor green with envy. Easily able to sail fast and free in the open ocean with a 6.5-foot draft at over 7 knots hard on the wind, or pull in the keel partway to navigate shallow banks while still under sail. And then finally, it's able to anchor securely and comfortably in as low as 2 feet 5 inches of water, all thanks to this swing keel. At 39 feet long and with a 13-foot beam, this sailboat is ready to be your home upon the sea wherever you're ready to make it. Having personally sailed alongside and enjoyed many a fun times on board, I can say without a doubt, overall, this is the best Bahamas cruising sailboat in my opinion. Now let me show you why. Permission to come aboard?
Yes, of course, come on board.
Welcome on board Onward, a 2002 Feeling 39. We're here with the owners, Jason and Ashley, and they're gonna be giving us a tour of this beautiful, beautiful boat with my favorite feature, a 2.4-foot draft. Well, let's check it out. As always, from the bow to the stern and then back inside. We're gonna have to be a little special with the camera today because check out how much wind there is. All right, so we're gonna have to yell a little bit, but how big is this Genoa?
I think it's a 120.
120, and this looks brand spanking new.
It is. Really nice sails.
Oh my god, I'm definitely jealous of it. And I noticed your that's a nice thing coming up to this. So yeah, so would this be for like a staysail, or how would this work?
Yeah, so you can set it up with an inner stay, either fixed or removable. It's technically a slutter rig, not a cutter.
Slutter rig?
Yeah, so
Is that the dirty way to call it, or
yeah,
is that
it's like a sloop and a cutter.
That's so cool. This boat has so many functions. I'm really impressed with it. But it looks like you guys are using it for your jack lines.
Yeah, it's just a convenient place to attach the jack lines.
It really is. That puts it center of everything. Now, how many times have you whacked your toe on this?
Only like 3. You learn pretty quick.
I bet. Forward deck is nice and flat. How often would you say you guys come out here and just lay out?
Actually, I'm not sure we've ever laid up here. There's too much sun up here. We lay in the shade.
Yeah, isn't that the truth of it? Here at the mast, tell us about some of the lines. I see you've actually got a one-way clutch over here where my hand is. A one-way clutch, got a couple winches. Do you find that you end up using these, like especially for raising the mainsail? Sorry for the wind, folks. We're trying to work with it here. Hopefully it's not too bad. But Jason, tell me, do you have to come forward to do anything, or can you do everything from the cockpit?
I come forward.
This is definitely my favorite feature about your boat is 2.3?
2.3, 2 foot 4 inches.
2 foot 4 inch draft. Imagine that. That's incredible. So this is what actually pulls the centerboard up.
Yep. So this line pulls the centerboard up. This line pulls it down, so we can lock it down.
Okay. Now I assume gravity. If you undo this, gravity would also let it down.
It will.
So would you say most of the time this isn't needed, but it's just like a good to have as like a backup or to make sure it works? Or do you actually need it?
The centerboard will swing up a little bit when you're sailing.
Oh, I got you, because it goes up like this. It doesn't retract straight.
If we're in shallow water, so the boat draws a little over 7 feet with the board all the way down. So if we're in shallow water, we typically have it set more like 4 or 5 feet, and we'll leave this uncleated. That way, if we hit the bottom, the board will just bounce up.
Yeah.
If we're offshore, put the board all the way down, we'll lock it down so we
get that better sailing.
Down, especially if we're trying to work up.
That is so cool. Say it was a patch that came up from shallower than 7 feet, and say it was just sand. If you hit that and it just maybe was only a few inches up from it, would you actually feel it, or would you?
I don't think you would feel it. As far as I know, we've never hit the bottom. I leave this uncleated, but I pull the slack out of it, so if I hit the bottom, it'll move. So I'll get a visual reference that the board came up.
If you were sailing along like that and you did hit like a sand patch, nothing hard, but a sand patch or a mud patch, it wouldn't do any damage, would it?
Nope, you just go over it, keep going.
That is super cool. And then I wonder if you were to think about a boat that did have a 7-foot draft with obviously a fixed keel, that'd be much different.
Yeah, you kind of stick in it.
It's just really well designed, and you have really good space to walk with everything. Moving back then, the Dodger and the bimini structure is really, really important. Now, I like it covers a whole lot of space, but I do notice little things here. Do you find much water will come in here, or well, I guess right here, if a wave comes up, do you guys get much water back in the cockpit?
It's not bad.
Other thing I noticed back here is you've got a split backstay. I don't know if you have anything to say on that, other than I can just tell you that looks nice. Having the backstay go right through the back means you can't go back as easily.
Yeah, so access off the back of the boat is really nice with that. And then also, we don't have it right now, but we could put a backstay tensioner. It's like a travel car that clamps on, and then you pull it down and it pulls the stays in, which tightens the backstay so we can tighten the headstay.
Yeah.
So we can add that system and it just give us a little more trimability for the head sail. We might do it eventually, but we haven't yet.
But here in the cockpit, and the first thing I'm noticing is how high this is. It's really nice. This means you don't have to like duck and stuff. You can just walk straight in to go down below. That's really nice. And then also when you're working on this stuff, you don't have to have your knees on it. You can actually stand and brace yourself. How does this work for you when you guys are sailing? Do you prefer this, Mike?
This works pretty well for me. It's a little bit tall for Ashley because then she ends up with her hands kind of up when she's trying to crank on the winches. That winch is an electric winch though, so we don't have to worry about cranking. Just push
fancy. I feel like that's such a difference when you have an electric winch on a boat.
Yeah, we added that. The boat had a boom furler on it, and we added that to help furl the sail. But we hated the boom furler, so we just got rid of it. So now we just have an electric winch. It's kind of overkill.
Really? So it had a furling. So the sail, instead of being stacked down, it would actually wrap into the boom.
Yep.
And what did you guys dislike about that so much? Why did you guys? That must have been a big change, right?
It was. It's really slow, especially to furl, and then it's not quick to raise, and sail shape is terrible, especially when reefed, because you don't have an outhaul line, so you can't like flatten the foot of your sail.
Wow.
It was not.
I think there's a good reason why we don't see many boom furling sails. It's pretty rare.
Everybody loves them in theory, I think. The in-mast furler was like the traditional furling setup, and you know they can get jammed. And everybody sees the boom furler like, well, even if it jams, you can still pull the sail down. Well,
I see.
Maybe,
I see why.
but I would hands down rather have it in-mast.
Moving on here from it, I also noticed another essential piece of sailing equipment. This is the Starlink Mini. I've got one as well, but I like where you guys have been able to put it. Yeah, how do you guys do for signal on this? Is there ever any problems with it?
Not really. It cuts out occasionally for 20 seconds and it'll reconnect.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then when you guys are sailing, I assume you guys probably just put it away unless you want to get some data, or do you sail with it up like this? Yeah?
Sometimes it stays up, sometimes. It depends what the weather's doing. So.
Oh, and this would be your manual bilge.
It's manual bilge, yeah.
That's a really good spot for it. So you could steer and be pumping the bilge. Then we've got the 12 volt DC for the Starlink right here.
4 volts.
Yeah. What is it?
24 volts.
Oh, 24 volt. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because Starlink Mini can take either. That's awesome. Cup holders, and then let's take a look at the helm here. First thing I'm noticing on the helm is it's kind of the biggest helm I've seen in a while. Like most boats seem to have smaller helms these days.
Yeah, the wheel's pretty big. This is kind of a cruiser racer, so you can sit over here on the side and still hold the boat, have better sidelines, or hold the wheel and still have better sidelines.
That's cool. Yeah, you definitely have plenty of space to stand up. I noticed that under there, my head would just start to hit, but I guess you would normally be walking down into it.
Yeah.
And I noticed where you sit too, you guys have this big box, so that way as the boat's heeled over, you could still be at it. It's a pretty extreme angle over. Does the boat heel that much over?
She does. So like I was saying earlier, she's a little tender. That's the drawback to the shallow draft.
Yeah.
She's not super stiff, so upwind especially, she'll heel. She can heel over pretty aggressively.
So I assume, yeah, forward, neutral, or reverse.
Yeah.
So super easy. Autopilot right here.
Yep, that's the autopilot.
Navigation. And that's it. That's really like all you need. I assume with this as well, it looks like, oh wow, you've got sea temperature. Oh, that's good to know. So we're in 80-degree water, which actually feels a little chilly if you don't have a suit on. That's good to know when we go back up to Alaska or something. And remember,
yeah, it's 45 degrees.
Yeah, a little bit different. So we got true wind speed of 17 knots right now and apparent wind speed of 20. It's interesting. I guess we're sailing on anchor a little bit.
Like this one will give me true wind direction, true wind speed, apparent wind angle, true wind angle. So I have all of the info here.
That is really cool.
This is B&G's like sail steer thing.
Yeah, this looks like it does a really good job. Yeah, so cool. So, oh, that's also interesting too. So you've got it plugged in for a nurse channel.
It actually just pulls up the
tide.
nearest one, and you can open it. It's right there.
That is so cool. We've been using that around here, so we know that's like fairly accurate. So that's super handy. Have you ever found that not being accurate? Because for you guys, that could spell trouble. You know, if you...
In the Bahamas, it's always seems like it's maybe not exact, but it's close enough.
And up here, that looks like that's got to be your depth. Yeah, 5.5 feet. And would that be 5.5 feet underneath the keel?
It's 5.5 under the boat, under the keel.
Okay, so 0 is when you touch.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys...
With the board up.
With the yeah, that's true. With the board up, that's interesting. So now you could put the board on the ground.
We could put it all the way down, and we would be like, it would just barely be touching the bottom.
Oh wow, that's really cool. Yeah, this is such a good system, and this looks like Navionics that's on here. Is this the same or?
This is sea maps. Yeah, and you can do the wind plot too, so you can see. This is for the last 30 minutes, direction and wind speed. So kind of
cool.
19.
All right, cool. The next thing here, we're just gonna check out the back of the boat, where we end up getting a lot of use as cruisers. Do you do your filleting back here?
Yes. Not underway.
Yeah.
This is a little narrow to be back here when you're offshore.
True. So normally you raise up your dinghy. Well, the solar arch here you've got, and the dinghy lift system looks like it works really well. Is this an Atlantic Tower system?
It is. Yep.
So these
in a box.
Yeah. So these come pre-packaged, and I think, do you send them some measurements, or is the way it's set up will it configure pretty much any boat?
It just can, like, they have a few different sizes that work with ranges, and then it slides in and out up here to set the width. You just cut it down to what you need it to, and you cut the leg length.
And this really, like, does this wiggle much, or does it move much when you're sailing with it? Like, is this a sturdy system, would you say?
It's okay. It wiggles. If you move it, it'll wiggle.
Yeah.
But it's pretty tight. And once the dinghy's up, I get everything lashed down.
Okay, so you bring it back to the boat to when you have the dinghy up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we've got the ladder, it looks like, right here.
Yep, that's the ladder. It flips out. I think we've got some fins in there right now.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's a perfect spot for dive gear. And back here, can I open this one?
Yes, go ahead.
This is the emergency life raft?
It is supposed to be the life raft. We have fuel cans in there.
Wow, it's a ton of space.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at, we got the beautiful Onward. You guys have some super cool, oh, you're not wearing your shirts.
Yeah, we thought about putting them on.
Oh, you got it. We'll do that later. But yeah, it looks like we got 2 propane tanks back here, which is really nice. So they're still outside. And then, yeah, 4 diesel, 2 gasoline, and there's still room in there. That is so rare to see, sailors that have extra space. So back here, we've also got the little hose. Let's see. Oh, that's a cool little system. And then you have a way to like clip it up here. Is that how you normally do it?
No, just hold it.
Just hold it. Okay. And I think I remember you said that you use it out here, but then you prefer the shower inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no hot water outside, so it's just cold showers only.
And your hot water, is that using propane, or what do you use to heat the water?
The engine.
Oh, so you guys just run your engine every now and then?
It does. It's an electric.
No, we just take cold showers.
Okay. But yeah, let's take a quick look at this. We've got some lockers over here. Oh wow, a ton of space. Wow.
More stuff.
And last thing I want to check out outside here is your dinghy, because I know it's a boat tour, but dinghy is really important. It's basically your car. If this is the house, this is the car.
So our dinghy is an AB10 AL. It's an aluminum bodied rib with a Suzuki 20 on it. It's the best.
All right, awesome. Well, Jason, thank you for showing me the outside of this beautiful boat. Ashley, you ready to take us inside?
Sure. This is the door.
Ah. Now this looks custom.
Yeah.
Did you guys do this?
Yeah. The hatch boards that came with this boat are a giant pain to use because
Oh, you have to slide them all down.
you can't put it in from the inside. They like,
Oh, weird.
it's weird.
All right, yeah, let's take a look down on in there. One thing I really like is just how easy I can just walk in instead of having to like duck. And actually, yeah, I don't really have to duck my head.
I love the companionway on this boat because of all of the like handholds and
The woodworking in here is so nice and bright, and that is really solid. I assume there'll be engine access under here.
yep.
Oh, fancy.
Turner.
Wow. Super thick insulation in there too.
Volvo.
Yeah. Oh, a Volvo Diesel Pinta.
Yeah.
D240?
It's an MD-20.
Yeah, 2040.
2040, okay.
Predecessor to the D240.
Okay, cool. And it looks like down in there, it looks like it's nice and clean. I don't see any grease, I don't see any water. It looks really
I
nice.
didn't know I needed to detail my engine bay for this, because I
it
would have.
looks wonderful. Now, one thing I did notice though is like it's pretty small in there. It's a pretty small compartment. Is it tough to work on it? What would you guys say?
I have little hands, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
There's also access from each of the aft cabins from the side.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
it's not just that front. So you can get to the sides. It's pretty easy. It's not too bad to get to.
When there's engine work to be done, Jason, are you the one that normally does it, or do you guys both tackle it together?
Me.
Oh, you're the engine one. The raccoon hands.
Yeah, it's little hands.
So this is super spacious, the way you guys have this in here. This is super spacious. One thing that's interesting I noticed is you guys keep a big Dometic freezer right over here.
Ice cubes and bacon.
All the
The
essentials.
staples.
Well, it looks like if you guys wanted to, you guys could host like 10 people in here probably. And is this structural? Would this be a compression post, and then would that be the mast post?
This is the mass compression post. That post is actually where the control lines for the center board come down through that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so there's two lines both running right in through here.
Yeah.
This pops up, and that's where I keep my coffee supplies.
Wow.
Oh, and the rum, I guess.
All right, so you've got the navigation station here. Does one of you prefer to sit there? Is that like one of your spaces, or do you guys both share that pretty evenly?
I don't think we actually ever sit there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just sit over here.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
his spot, and my spot's right there.
I have noticed that with boats, is that, yeah, couples, remember, they're like, this is my space, that's your space, like, stay out of my space. Kind of have that division there, so nice. Almost like the wallpaper.
Yeah.
That's nice, it's a nice little touch to it. And did you guys redo all this, or is this standard to the
That's
boat?
standard. I did clean it up a lot in the back.
The Victron here. How much capacity do you guys have for your batteries?
400 amp hours.
100 amp hours at 12 volts?
Yeah.
Okay. It looks like you guys have your percentage. You're at 91% full already. At 12 o'clock, you guys are at 91%. What would you say is your biggest power draw on the boat?
Probably my laptop.
Oh, really?
It's a beast.
It's a B.
Yeah, we keep our Fowlies and our spare motor oil.
And move into the back here. So we've got two cabins. We have two aft cabins, and then we have the one V berth. And are both aft cabins, are they just mirrored pretty much?
Yeah, they're the same. That's supposed to be our guest room, but we have kayaks and a spinnaker and all of our stuff.
All the storage you could
Random
possibly
stuff.
want. This is definitely the advantage to having just two people on a boat with 3 bedrooms, as you can store everything you want. So that is cool. But yeah, I see the emergency stuff you've got there, and it's got some good lighting. Ooh, and that's nice as well. It's actually got padding to it, so if you do knock your head into it, it won't hurt nearly as much. So that's really, really nice. And we'll show the other cabin in here.
Yeah, that's the pantry.
Like you guys are totally stocked in here. Plenty of snack goods.
Yeah, that's where we keep all of our snacks.
This is why I rummage through people's boats, because I never know what I'm going to see that's really cool. Ta-da! This is an electric winch from underneath. So here would be all the gears and winch component, but right here is the motor that then sits and turns onto it. That is so cool to be able to see that. Yeah. So normally this would just have a little liner that goes probably right about here, but obviously they took it down for some reason, so it's cool just to see how all this works. And something I really like about this electric windlass is just how easily, if you wanted to work on it, you could do that. And then over here is the switch. So it's all super easy to see how this comes together. That is really cool.
We're just not real good at finishing projects.
Well, it's functional. That's all that matters. Here, then this would be, is there 2 heads on the boat?
Just one.
1 head. So, the door is like, look at that. It's like a little bit of wood and then some sort of is that fiberglass?
I think so.
It looks nice and easy to clean. I like it.
It is easy to clean.
All right, so they don't make bathrooms huge on boats. That's just life. But this one's nice though. I like how the walls are all the same like gel-coated fiberglass, so it's really easy if you had to clean it. You got good ventilation. You got this right here that you can scoop a whole bunch of air from, and then also directly above here, you've got another little air scupper there, so you have a couple ways to get airflow in through here. And if you're underway or if you had Taco Bell the day before, you've got handholds here for the experience and for the ride. And so yep, you guys have a manual toilet as well. Does it also have a bidet?
It does have a bidet.
Oh, a bidet! Now, you don't see many bidets on boats, funny enough. I don't know why. They're already wet heads, like, why not? Weird about some people.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And we love it because we don't have to keep buckets of toilet paper and keep it dry and then throw it away. It's just, we have a water maker, so we just use the water.
Plus your butts are cleaner.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually delightful, unless it's really cold and then it is jarring.
Oh, so it's like whatever temperature.
Yeah, no, it's not heated.
Oh, man. So that's interesting. So if you were to take this boat to like a cold climate,
we might rethink the bidet if we were in Maine.
I'm assuming there's some toilet paper in there somewhere, right?
Yeah, we've got one roll and it lasts all season.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, toilets are very necessary on boats. People don't like to talk about them, but you gotta have one. And I'm surprised. I think you're the first boat I've ever seen that has a bidet.
Yeah, it just adds back here.
Oh, wow.
And then squirts out when the water pressure.
So you can put this on any boat?
Yeah, very easy.
Huh. I might do that, because that's quite like the luxury item that doesn't take anything new.
Do it.
Yeah.
These seats are so comfortable, and it's like a velvet sort of for the fabric. Yeah,
And then our silverware drawer is right here at the end of the table.
Oh. Well, no promises. I don't know.
So
Oh, that's right. This is
a
super
little bit
cool.
more storage, and then that's the centerboard.
That is awesome. As you guys said, all the lines are out there, but these are here, I believe you said, so that way you could clean this in case it gets stuck, or you could like hit it back out with a hammer.
Yeah, we had it get jammed once. There's some like Delrin guides that it comes up and touches so it doesn't wobble when it's up, and we were sitting on the bottom and it kind of got pushed up in. So we had to open that and then take a hammer and a rod and like beat it back down to pop it out.
How often would you say you guys beach the boat?
A couple times a season. We've never had her fully dried out, but we sit on the bottom like regularly.
That's gotta be awesome though, so you can just get off the back and just walk wherever.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Well, let's keep moving forward here. Now I wanted Ashley to show us this, but Ashley, I believe you said this is not your kitchen.
No, I have nothing to do in there except for my coffee pot in the corner. So that's Jason's kitchen.
In that case, Jason, I'll switch with you and I'll let you tell us about your kitchen. Jason has made some phenomenal meals and he's a very humble chef. He's always like, I threw a few things into it, and then we hear about what it was, and it was like 20 different ingredients.
This is the galley. It's actually great size for this size of boat, I think. We had an electric galley set up last year, but we just didn't quite have enough solar to power it, so we put a new forced tin 2-burner propane system back in it.
Now, and this thing's brand new. You've never used this before?
It was brand new until this season.
No, I was just remarking on how
it's got a lot of
clean.
use now.
Look at that mirror finish that you got. You guys did a good job. You guys keep it very, very clean. So that's cool. Obviously, with all monohulls, this thing will gimbal. Take out a little lock from it. So now as you're underway, you can be cooking with it. And then this one's got the pot holders that you slide out and over, or you could hold one like that. It's pretty cool. How often do you do like a full meal when you're underway?
We don't tend to cook too much when we're underway. We'll kind of pre-prep stuff before we go.
Let's take a look inside the fridge. Is this a fridge freezer or just a fridge?
It's just a fridge.
And look at all that lobster I see in there.
Yeah.
That's why we live out here. That's why we sail in the Bahamas for endless amounts of lobster. What's cool here about this is you can actually take off either side. The whole thing can just pop out.
Yep.
So this thing's all one fridge, and then you have 2 separate individual freezers.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Freezer space is probably more important than fridge space in a boat.
Okay. So you got plenty of storage up here for everything, and I've also noticed that these would probably throw in a ton of light. And the boat is really nice because you do have these side windows, so you can see out, which, look at the view that you get just to be able to see out every day. Like, this is what people spend millions and billions of dollars to have, is this view right here. And even Nicole with her tiptoes can see this.
Yeah, you gotta be a little tall.
Could be a little tall to see it, but it brings in nice light though, I will say. Like, you guys have, there's no lights turned on here, but the lighting is really, really nice. Oh, and I also just found out you guys have a nice grip right here. So if you are underway, need to cook, you can put a hand up here.
Yeah, offshore the boat does well. There's lots of things, not even just hand pulls, but also like hip checks, you know? You can
Yeah.
lean on stuff. There's no big open spaces to get thrown across the boat offshore.
So you guys have a bunch of storage under here, don't you? It's like,
This is where we keep our cans.
And stuff there.
Turner cans.
storage.
And didn't you guys say something about this boat doesn't have a bilge?
It's a very shallow bilge.
That's
You
it.
can
That's all we
see
got.
From the side over here, that's as deep as it gets.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, it doesn't have a lot. So we
Because the
added-
boat doesn't need to like V down because it's so flat on the bottom?
Yeah, so because of how shallow she is.
Is one of these saltwater or fresh? What's the difference with all three of these?
So, freshwater, saltwater, this has got a UV filter on it. So this is like our drinking water.
Oh wow.
So it's got a carbon filter, a remineralizer, and then a UV filter.
Do you mind if I try some?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Water. Remineralized RO water.
Yeah, that does taste really good, I gotta say. That tastes really nice. Moving all the way back here now. Anyway. Oh, that's nice. Wow, that is super nice. Really nice breeze.
Yeah.
I really like this too, how the breeze is coming down onto your feet, not just like square onto your face.
Yeah, this is a fantastic hatch. It's gigantic and it's just air conditioning all night long.
Yeah, for real. And then I guess if you did want wind just on your face, you have just the one little hatch over there. See, we've got several fans around as well.
Yeah.
And this is also nice right here. You've got like a little step up onto the bed. Now, who is the inside and who is the outside?
Jason's on this side, because if I'm on that side, I get like paranoid and claustrophobic.
Ah.
I panic. I'd rather fall off the bed than be over here.
And then I did notice the mermaid tail here.
Yep, that's my mermaid tail.
That's pretty cool.
This is where I keep my underwater camera and my soda.
Bye, Jason.
Bye.
Yeah.
So that's nice. So this will just kind of clip in automatically.
That's
And
the
then-
hanging closet.
Oh, hanging closet. Yeah, this is super nice.
Yeah, that's
Just storage in like every which direction here.
yeah.
I love it. It's so
Aside
nice.
from like, there's drawers under there where Jason keeps his stuff.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh wow.
Oh.
Right now we're gonna sit down with Jason and Ashley. We're gonna talk to them a little bit more about their lifestyle on the boat, and that you guys are unique. That you guys have done smaller monohulls, bigger catamarans, and you guys have you've come back from catamaran life. So let's sit down and chat about that. So Jason was just telling us how this cushion here he hates. This nice big rounded cushion where if everybody was sitting at the table it'd be fine, but this is your spot. You want to sit back and relax. How you fit in your spot?
Yeah, so I put a pillow here and then I'd lay like kind of crooked in here. It works. It's okay. It's not the most comfortable thing, but it's fine.
And what about you? What's your default comfortable position here?
Just right here.
Just like that?
Just make a little nest of all of my things and just yeah, like I'll have my laptop and like my notebooks and my pens and all of my crafting things.
Yeah, for real. So you guys have been on the water for how long would you say?
So we started cruising in the fall of 2020.
Oh wow. Not like that long
So
ago,
like
but you guys
over 4 years, and we missed a season because we swapped boats around.
Yeah, so you guys have done, what did you start with? Was it a monohull originally?
So we had a 42-foot monohull for a year, and then we had a 44-foot catamaran for a year, and then we didn't have a boat for a year, and now we have this boat.
I heard about a trawler.
And we used to have a trawler even when we lived in Washington State. We had a 50-foot trawler, a wooden one, 50-foot wooden.
Wow. Did you guys live on that?
No,
Really?
no, yeah.
What'd you do with it?
Painted it mostly.
I painted it mostly.
Sounds about right.
It's wood.
So let me ask you, okay, so you guys did monohull, catamaran, monohull. First off, what do you guys like about this monohull compared to the first one that you guys had?
So the draft for sure. The first monohull was like a real like cruising boat.
What year and make and model?
So it was a 2001 Island Packet 420.
Okay, yeah.
So we had
Was that
bought
like a
it.
6-foot draft?
It's 5-foot draft. So it was moderate draft. It wasn't deep.
Yeah.
So it was fine for the Bahamas. We bought it neglected, a huge refit on it. So it was kind of going to be our forever boat. It's much more spacious than this boat. It's a foot more beam, 3
Wow.
feet longer, and then a pretty deep bilge. So all the tanks and everything were under the floor. So you had storage like under the cabin beds and.
Yeah.
Like I could crawl into the void underneath the settee.
Wow.
Like it was insane.
It was huge.
Island packets are pretty popular among cruisers.
They're solid cruising boats.
Yeah.
I thought it sailed fine until I got this boat. So the
Oh, wow.
packet is fine. She's heavy. So they don't really like sailing if it's not blowing like 15, right?
So this is a better boat, you're saying, for lighter winds.
This boat definitely does a lot better in lighter winds. The Packet, hands down, it's a cutter rig, like much better when it's rough. It's a heavier boat, it's a cutter rig, you can reef it right down to whatever you need it to be. So for heavy weather sailing, hands down, the Packet's better. But for light wind stuff, and we're doing mostly day sailing in the Bahamas, so you just pick.
No, mostly anchoring.
Yeah. And you just pick like the weather when you want to move. You're like, oh, it's nice and it's blowing the right direction, and you go. This boat does really well in those light wind days. Downwind, you can throw the spinnaker up. Even in like say 10 knots downwind, we're still doing like 5 knots.
Oh wow!
So
that is like downwind.
Yeah,
that's super nice. My boat struggles at downwind, so like that. Yeah, that's awesome. So what made you guys leave the Packet to a 46-foot catamaran? You said
44-foot cat.
44. What was the make and model on that?
I don't know why I want to say it.
What was it? I finally hit a question they don't want to answer. You don't have to if you don't want to.
I'm not answering,
but you have to.
The people of the internet will judge us.
So it was an Antares 44, which
Antares 44. Wait, why is that so bad? Oh, look up Antares 44.
Don't look that up. It's very expensive. So we bought that because her parents wanted to go cruising with us, which was awesome. My in-laws are amazing, so super happy to bring them. But the Packet just wasn't big enough for full.
But you guys wanted to, were able to, and it was awesome to do it with your parents.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
Yeah, and they're not sailors or anything. They just wanted to move out of Nevada in the desert, and they're just like,
in the water.
Screw it, we'll live on a boat.
Yeah.
So they got rid of everything. They like sold their house, got rid of all their furniture. They moved. They had 4 boxes.
Wow.
And they moved on to the boat.
They know catamarans are big, right? like it sounds like there was like space.
It's still a boat though.
Yeah.
So we got the Cat because for 2 reasons. One, we needed a bigger boat in general for more space, and then because they're not sailors, we didn't want them to have to deal with moving around in the boat with it heeled over. So the cats are super easy to live on, and when you're sailing them, they stay flat. So for safety's sake, we went ahead and got that.
Yeah.
And they, we got to bring them down through the Bahamas for a little while. We spent Christmas at Shroud Key, and we spent New Year's in Pipe Creek, so north of Staniel. So it was a great time. But like 2 months in, they decided they didn't want to be on the boat anymore, so they got off the boat. So then we just had this big catamaran. It's expensive. Not that we go to marinas often, but if you need to, like finding a slip is really hard. Insurance is crazy expensive on them. Finding a place to haul out is a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
So
it was just sailing life, just not for them.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Sounds like they kind of just jumped straight into it pretty quick.
Yep. They tried it and then decided they didn't want to live that way. And
all right, so sailing life wasn't for your parents, and so they had to get off the boat, unfortunately. But then were you able to recoup money on it because you ended up selling it, and boats are not cheap?
Yeah, so we bought the Cat in summer of 21. We put some money into it with new sails and new electronics, and then about a year later, we ended up selling it, and we were able to get everything we had into it back out of it. So
that is really rare. For those of you planning on buying a boat, putting work into it, and selling it, it usually does not go that way.
No, it doesn't.
So how did you guys find this boat, and what made you go to this boat? Was it the draft?
Definitely the draft. So we got off the catamaran, and we didn't have a boat for a little while, and we weren't even sure if we were going to sail again, but we don't like the cold. So
yeah, it snowed at home.
Yeah,
and I was over it.
Looking at the temperature and the cold front is coming down to Arkansas. And
yeah, it's super cold.
It looks cold. Yeah. And I was also looking on the heat map at how we're just here at 80.
Yeah, it's just 79, 80, 79, 78, 80. It's just for months.
We're good.
So anyway, we kind of decided we were not going to do long distance sailing, just part time, and we were just going to go to the Bahamas. So we started searching for a Bahamas specific boat.
Gotcha.
So our Packet was a 5-foot draft. The catamaran was a 4-foot draft, and we knew we had a lot more fun with that shallow draft, so we intentionally looked for a monohull that's shallow draft. And she started looking for centerboard boats, and she just happened to, this one was up in the Chesapeake, and she just happened to see it. So we made an appointment. We went and looked at this boat, and we went and looked at a southerly. Southerlies are swing keel boats.
What's the draft on that one?
I don't remember. It's similar. Not
really?
Quite as shallow this, but it's still under 3 feet.
Yeah.
They're still shallow.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
This is a big question I have, is why do you guys think that modern boats aren't made more like this? Because it makes more sense to me. Even if you're not in the Bahamas, like even in the ICW of Florida, like there's places that like so many places I just can't go or can't anchor because of that. But if I had a sub 3 foot draft, I could just go anchor anywhere.
I think probably these are complex to build, or add some complexity to the build of the boat, which makes them more expensive.
Because the moving part of the swing keel?
Yep, and just like the structure around the trunk and all that stuff has to be designed differently. So I think that's part of it. It's more expensive to build, and then a lot of boats are just built for like charters or like, you know, people just sit at the dock. Like they're not like cruising on them.
Yeah.
So, and I think like most people don't realize like the advantages of having a shallow draft and where you can go. It's great in the Bahamas too, but I think if you go to the Eastern Caribbean, this may not be as like beneficial, right?
I can think of a lot of spots I was at.
Fair.
Yeah.
We haven't been,
no,
so
it's true. There is a lot more depth there, and if anything, there's like super deep spots where like you're thinking more about your ground tackle than you would be about your draft.
Yeah.
But and I can't help but think about it. I mean, thinking of like St. Martin, all the places like inside the lagoon there or wherever else.
I love the centerboard. I don't think we'll ever get a different style boat. Like we might do a swing keel or something like that, but definitely a variable draft, super shallow draft, and a boat that's able to dry out on its own bottom. That's key. It's not just shallow draft. Like shallow is super great, but like I would not want a 3 foot draft boat that couldn't sit on the bottom.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because you're not going to push it with that boat. It's not. You don't want to get up shallow.
I think about that. I kind of assumed like once you go below 4 feet or especially 3 feet, you must be able to actually dry it out. But I guess not. I guess not all boats.
Not all boats will do that.
Interesting. Well, super cool. I appreciate you guys opening up you guys' home and showing us the boat. What's next for you guys? How do you guys plan on cruising in the future? Where do you guys plan on going? Like, what's the next goal, dream, adventure?
I think right now we're going to do a few more seasons in the Bahamas. We might try to invite some friends down and get rid of some of the stuff that's in the back so we have more space. And then after that, I think maybe move north. I think we'd rather do high latitude stuff than Caribbean stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we'll maybe sell this boat. I'd like to get a metal boat. Maybe we'll do like either Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, Labrador type cruising, or maybe buy something on the West Coast and sail up to like Alaska or something like that.
Alaska's pretty cool. I'll tell you what. I'll be heading that way. It'd be cool to see you guys. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys have been absolutely wonderful to show me everything here. This is, in my opinion, like one of the most practical sailboats for just the basic functions of what it can do with the shallow draft, with how easily you can steer everything, how comfortable the boat is. So I would definitely get one like this. What would a boat like this sell for, do you think, for those that are interested in a boat like this?
$1 million. I don't know.
And then they do make these boats longer as well and shorter as well?
I know they make a smaller one. Does Feeling make a bigger one? I can't remember.
I think they make a 44.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I think that's right. They make a 41.
That'd be cool. Just pretty much this layout, just bigger.
Yeah. And there's lots of, so the centerboard is like a really like French design. So there's a bunch of different French companies. Feeling is a French company. There's a bunch of different French companies that make centerboard boats. A lot of metal ones. Avni makes them. There's a
right. That Avni was really cool. And that's a metal boat too, right?
It's a metal boat.
Is that a boat you think you might go towards to do the high latitude stuff?
Definitely is a good option. Avni Boreal is a good one. Garcia's like a traditional. They've been making aluminum centerboard boats for ages. Avni has two.
Yeah. Yeah, but that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, there's plenty of boats out there. Hope you guys like this one. Got any questions about it? Shoot a link below. I'd like to hear if you guys want to get a boat like this. I certainly do if I'm not going to get a weird catamaran or a McGregor or something else in the future. So we'll see. But always cool to see. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you on the next adventure. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. I hope you feel inspired to begin adventures of your own. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. For an exclusive, in-depth look at this adventure lifestyle and to further support my channel, become a member of my Patreon crew. Link in the description. I'll see you on the next adventure.